What's going on, Sumolings? Thank you so much for joining us for another product walkthrough webinar. I am Lindsay, and I am joined by the team over at Postaga. Postaga is an all-in-one outreach tool that helps you quickly build links and drive traffic to your website by creating custom automated campaign. It is available right now on AppSumo as a freebie. Before we dive into the walkthrough, though, I just want to tell you all a few quick things. The first is that you can go ahead and tell us a little bit about your use case, why you're interested in Postaga over in the chat room. You can also let us know of any questions you have, either about the deal, the tool, how to get set up, anything like that. Leave those questions in the Q&A box down below this video. We do have Sam from the Postaga team on standby to go ahead and answer those questions, but we will also circle back to questions at the end of the walkthrough. And the last thing is that there will be a replay of this available. So if you need to step out for any reason, no worries. You can watch this as many times as you want. All right. Hey, Andy, how are you doing?
Doing good, Lindsay. How about yourself?
I'm doing very well. I'm excited to have y'all here and to dive into this today. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
All right. Let me know when you're ready for the Q&A. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my video. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks. Well, thanks everyone for joining today. I'm going to show you around Postaga, and I'm going to share my screen now. Like I said before, like Lindsay said before, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the Q&A, and we'll get to them as soon as we can. So Postaga is an all-in-one tool for outreach. There are different use cases for it, and I'm going to show you a very broad demo of what you can do with Postaga, from doing outreach to promote your content and your blog posts, to promoting your business, to also doing cold outreach. So the screen you should be seeing here right now is a dashboard of Postaga. It shows you the big overview of your campaigns. This is a new account that I created. It has one campaign, and it gives me details like the opens, open rate, and reply rate, and things like that. I'm going to go right into building a new campaign. So I'm going to click this new campaign button. And the first thing that you're going to see is this little help widget that can guide you through giving you some ideas for creating a campaign. So in general, like I said before, there are really three main uses that people have found popular for Postaga. There are more being discovered constantly, but the main uses that we've seen people using Postaga for is everything from promoting a blog post to getting more links to that content, to also promoting a business, a product or service, and also doing cold outreach. So if you want help getting ideas for the types of campaigns you can be running, you can use this little help widget here. But if not, you can close that and get right to choosing the type of campaign you want to run if you have an idea of what you want to do. So the first thing that you'll see here is the campaign selection option. So there are a bunch of different types of campaigns that you can run, and I'm going to kind of go through them based on what the different use cases are. So for example, with Postaga, you can promote your blog content. And so if you have a blog post, the reason that people use this is if you have a blog post and you want other websites to be linking to your content to get you more backlinks and get you ranking better and getting more traffic, that's one way that people are using Postaga. And so we have a bunch of different campaigns designed to help you promote those blog posts. The first campaign type is the mention campaign. And what this campaign type does is it finds all of the outbound links from your blog post to other websites. In particular, this is useful if you have a blog post that's a very good in-depth guide or resource and you're linking to a bunch of other sites. If you don't have a lot of outbound links in your article, this campaign type might not be good for you. But the goal with this campaign type is you're going to find all the outbound links, you're going to reach out to those websites, and then pitch them whatever unique pitch you want. So for example, we have a bunch of template sequences, so you can reach out to these websites and say things like, hey, just want to let you know, we linked to your article. It was really great and helpful, so we linked to it in our content. It would be great if you could share it or link back to it, or if you could, we could collaborate somehow. You have great content. We really appreciate it, and we want to see if there is some opportunity for us to work together. The next type of campaign I want to talk about is the resources campaign type. And this is probably the most popular campaign type, I'd say, for promoting blog posts. And what this does is it will find different resource posts, like blog posts that are like, for example, 90 resources for digital marketing, or 2,000 different articles on cooking barbecue or something like that. These really lengthy posts that link to other articles like yours. And we're going to find them, we're going to reach out to them and pitch them to include a link to your article in their mega resource post. The next type of campaign popular for blog post promotion is the skyscraper campaign. Right now, you do need a third-party tool for doing that, like Ahrefs or Ubersuggest or SEMrush. And how it works is basically the idea is you see what the top ranking post is on a given topic. So if you're writing an article about email marketing and you're doing research and see, all right, there's another article that's ranking on email marketing. I want the people that are linking to that article to link to my article instead. You can use a tool like Ahrefs or Ubersuggest, find those backlinks, and then reach out to those websites using Postaga to pitch them to be linking to your content instead. And this way you can take those backlinks and ultimately rank higher than the top ranking post. There's also link roundup outreach. And how this works is there are often a lot of articles in different industries that write like weekly newsletters or weekly rundowns on different topics. So like you might see like a weekly newsletter blog post that shares different articles from around the internet. And what you can do is you can find them and then reach out to them and pitch them to link to your content on that topic in their next roundup newsletter or blog post. With Roundup, though, this campaign type, it's very industry specific. Some industries you might have a harder time finding Roundup posts for. So those are for promoting blog posts. For promoting your business or your app or product or brand, we have a few campaign types that are relevant for you. The first is the tools campaign type. And how that works is it's similar to the resources campaign. So we find different articles that share tools on a given topic. So like if you find an article on like, for example, 20 different project management tools that lists like links to Asana or Trello or Basecamp or Freecamp, you can reach out to that website and pitch them to link to your tool, your article as well, your business product as well. The next one is the review campaign. And how this works is Postaga can find where your competitors and other products and companies in your industry have been reviewed in depth in in-depth blog articles around the internet. And then you can reach out to those websites and pitch them along the lines of, hey, I saw that you did this really great article about this company. Clearly your audience is interested in products in this space. I wanted to suggest that you do a write-up on our company as well. We're in the space. I think your audience would find it interesting. Similar to this is the Versus campaign. So I'm sure you've seen a lot of articles out there like, speaking of project management, Asana versus Trello versus versus Basecamp, Freecamp, etc. We can find where your competitors are being compared in other articles and reach out to those websites to include a comparison with your product as well. A new campaign type that we have that's very, very popular right now is podcast outreach. Basically, this campaign type helps you reach out to different podcasts that are in your industry or space to pitch them to be a guest. So with this outreach, it would be along the lines of, hey, I see you have this podcast on digital marketing. Here's my relevant background and resume in digital marketing. I would have this idea for a podcast topic for your audience that I think would be super relevant. What do you say? Then there is the Offer Expertise campaign, which I'm sure you've probably seen a lot of expert roundup articles, like 25 experts share their opinion on SEO or whatever. We'll find those articles and then you can pitch those websites your unique take on the topic. And the last one I want to show is the custom outreach, where you can basically build whatever type of outreach campaign you want. If you have a bunch of URLs that you want to find contact details for and build an outreach campaign, you can upload them in a CSV or paste the URLs in. or you can do a custom search from scratch. And this has been popular for doing cold outreach. So for example, with Postaga, I might want to be reaching out to different digital marketing agencies or SEO agencies. And so I would do a custom search for like SEO agency, New York City, or whatever location. Then I'd get the results, I'd find them, and then reach out to them and pitch them my product or whatever it is I want to do. So those are the different campaign types. Now I want to actually take you through a campaign from start to finish. And we're going to do a resources campaign. And so with this campaign I mentioned before, we're going to find different websites that share resources on the topic of our article to try and get them to include a link to our article and get us that backlink. So I'm going to paste in my URL that I want to promote. And then I'm going to click Analyze Post. And next what's going to happen is Postaga is going to analyze that URL, and it's going to give me information about the post. The reason that we see this here is we're going to actually be able to use this information later if we want. If we have email templates that will use things like our title, our website and such, Postaga grabs that all from the article so we can use that. We have like title, website, and keyword. Postaga tries to find the most relevant keyword from your blog post. It's not 100% perfect, but it does a pretty good job. But in this one, I'm going to do, I'm just going to throw in email marketing. And next we have some merge fields. Now these merge fields can insert whatever content you put in here into the email templates, depending on if they use this field specifically. So I know I'm going to show you an email template that's going to use the summary merge field, for example. And I'm just going to type in some information here, and you're going to see later on how the information I put in here is going to go into our outreach emails. Great. Okay. Next up, we're going to actually do our search for different resource pages on a given topic. Email marketing is going to be grayed in. It's going to be the automatically filled in one related to our keyword, but we could put in whatever we want. I can type in digital marketing. I can type in anything, and Postaga will find resource pages on this given topic. I'm just going to do email marketing though, and then click find results, and Postaga is going to find resource pages on the topic of email marketing. I have options here as well that I can change my location, where I'm searching from, language, and things like that. I'm just going to do a brief search. I don't want to get 80 results, which I could get because I want to make this a quick demo. I don't want to spend time trying to find contacts for all of those. It would take a while. Next, we see here in these results all of these websites and resource pages on this topic. And so I can click over to them if I want to see, if I want to review manually these websites that I'd be reaching out to, like this article, for example, 99 email marketing resources is a perfect website for us to reach out to because these has a bunch of links to other articles here. So I'm going to want to reach out to this website and see if they can link back to my content and update their article. So I can go through these manually if I want to and choose which of them I want to reach out to, or I could manually remove some if I want to, and so on. But I'm just going to move on to the next step, which is analyzing the links. And what's going to happen now is Postaga is going to pull data from these blog posts. For example, it's going to try and find authors for these blog posts that we're finding. So for example, that 99 email marketing resources one, it pulled the author. And the reason we try and pull the author is because we want to find the email address for that person to reach out to them. In a perfect world, we're going to reach out to every author for these blog posts because they're going to be more likely to give us a positive response and be able to work with us. As a default, Postaga tries to reach out to the author, but if we can't find an author associated with that post, then we have other ways to try and find contacts at that website and try and find more relevant people to reach out to. So one thing though is sometimes you'll see Postaga can't find a person at that blog post for whatever reason. But we have some resources here, some links to pages on their site that we can go to try and find someone to reach out to. And so, for example, I see this article, I want to reach out to someone about it, and I go to the About page. I see this person, I want to reach out to them then. And so I'm going to enter their name, and hopefully we can then find that person. And so you can personalize it, you can spend time doing that, or you can just go to the next step and Postaga will try and find whoever they can at that website. So the next step is we'll get contacts. And so Postaga is going to then find email addresses and first name, last name, and company names for these people so we can build an outreach campaign for them. And so one thing that you'll see here, so you'll see, for example, the first name, last name, their company, their email address. On occasion, we can also find Twitter handles and LinkedIn handles in case you want to reach out to them in those channels as well. But mainly, we're going to focus on email marketing because Postaga is going to help us to send outreach emails to all of these people. So one thing you'll see here is these deliverability ratings. Postaga tries to verify every single email address that comes through for these websites. The higher deliverability, the more likely it reaches that person's inbox, and less likely it bounces, less likely we go to spam. And that's very important for that. We take deliverability very seriously. We want to make sure that your emails are reaching people's inboxes and that your deliverability isn't so low that which is going to be more likely that your emails go to spam folders. And that's no good for anyone. So we try and verify as many email addresses as we can. Sometimes we'll see we get a response that this is a catch-all email address. Overall, Postaga's deliverability rating is around 95% platform-wide. But if you remove people where we have catch-all email addresses that we can't verify, the deliverability rating overall ends up at 98, 99% then. So I can go through these. I can customize them. I can add more information here. I can edit them. I can go to the websites if I wanted to, and I can add information to these merge fields if I want to. Next up, what's going to happen once I'm happy with all of these email addresses and I've gotten the contacts, I have an option now. I can export this data to a CSV if I want to get these contacts and then send out emails using my own email outreach software of choice. Or I can go on and set up and send out an email sequence in Postaga. So we have a bunch of different sequences that you can choose from all ready to go when you start using Postaga. You can also create your own. In particular, I'd say if you are doing campaigns like podcast outreach or cold outreach for new customers, definitely you're going to want to create your own sequences and templates. But these are definitely a very good starting point. With resources, we have a sequence good to go. And so what the sequence looks like is we will send out one email, then we'll wait 3 days, and then send a follow-up email. You can customize the sequence by clicking on this button. And if you wanted to, you can adjust the sequence. You can add more emails to the sequence. You can change the wait time between emails. In general, we recommend having follow-up emails because it means more likely that you will get a response to your message. If you send one email, that's fine. But if you send 2 or 3 or 4 emails with appropriate wait times between the emails, you're going to be much more likely to get a response and much more likely to get a positive response from the people you're reaching out to. So if I want to actually see what this email template is going to look like, I can go into that email template itself. And what you'll see here is the email with all of the merge fields noted. So for example, I'm having a merge field for the keyword, for the article, my name, the website, and so on, our article that we're pitching, as well as the custom merge field for the summary of the post. And you can edit these, make them however you want, and then move on. And you can see what the preview looks like what email everyone is going to receive. And so these emails are unique to every single person in this campaign. We merge in the fields for the first name, for example. I have their email address, I know their website, and you see also in all caps in the email preview, this is the summary of the blog post. I told you before we were going to use that, and that merge field pops in right there. But if you want to overwrite an individual email, you can by clicking on that email itself over here in the preview, and then updating it and just overwriting. And so you can click anywhere in the email and personalize it even further for that contact. So I might want to say something like showing that I actually know their content, know their business. You can say whatever you want. One thing that's very unique about Postaga also is we pull on this section over here on the side that you'll see. Postaga reads the articles, and its magical AI finds relevant text snippets from the articles that we're reaching out about. So if I want to really show them that I know their website and know their content, I might want to say, for example, I really liked this thing that you said on this topic. And so you can copy and paste into your email and overwrite that email. And then I'll click Save Overwrite, and that email will be unique for that person. And I can see in the previews what the emails will look like. And if I want to make any changes to the email templates themselves, I can by clicking the Edit button. And if I want to send any of these emails to my inbox to as a test to see what it looks like, you can click Send Test, and then it'll do that, and so on. Next, we have rules and scheduling. One thing before we get to this is I do want to mention that most of the campaigns have a very similar workflow. So whether you're doing a resources campaign or a podcast outreach campaign or a tools campaign, they all have a similar workflow. So at the very beginning, we're going to enter in our website URL or our blog post URL. Then we are going to find opportunities. Then we are going to get those links, and then get the contact, and then build an email outreach sequence. So this workflow that I'm showing you now for the resources campaign looks very similar or nearly identical for the other campaign types. So next up, we have rules and scheduling. You can send your email campaign out now, or you could schedule it to go later. You can also be in testing mode and send all the emails to your inbox if you'd like. One thing I should mention is if you've just signed up for Postaga, the very first campaign you create is going to be a test campaign. We want to help you get acquainted with the platform and see the workflow, and make sure you don't make any mistakes. So we walk you through this very first campaign. It's going to be a test campaign. And then once you've set up your first campaign, you've launched that test campaign, then you have full access to build any campaign type you want and send it out to your intended recipients. We have options here for things like threading messages, which I'll want to keep on so that my follow-up messages, my replies will be threaded in the email. I want to also make, for example, that follow-up emails don't go out on weekends. In general, we found that emails going out on the work week and business days get a better response rate than going out on the weekend. So if you have an email sequence where it's like, all right, send email today, wait 6 days, send email 2. If that email 2 launch date were to land on a weekend, if you have send on weekends X'd, then it'll then go out on the next business day on that Monday. And also stop on reply. How this works is if you get a reply from one of your recipients, they will not then get future follow-up emails. And that's very important because we don't want to keep sending more messages to people when they've replied and we have now a line of communication is open and the conversation is going. In general, when someone replies to your message from that sends from Postaga, that'll go to your designated inbox where you choose that your replies should go, and then you'll keep the conversation going there. You don't have to live in Postaga. Once you get replies, they'll go to your inbox and you can keep the conversation going in your inbox. So whether you're using G Suite or Exchange, Outlook, Office 365, what have you, you can keep the conversation going there where you're regularly checking and sending emails from. And then the next step is you can schedule and send that email campaign out. And that's been basically the quick rundown of how to build a campaign. One last thing I kind of want to show is the campaign screen, so you can review the campaigns. If I click on campaigns, I built a campaign a while ago. It'll show you things like how many emails you sent out, what your reply rate was, any emails that failed or didn't reach the recipient. And you can go in and see who's opened the email, who's replied, and you can actually see what those replies are. So if I click view campaign and go inside here, I can then see the emails that are going to people, if they were delivered, if they're opened, and if they replied, what they replied with. And here we go. So I could see what that message is there. And that's basically the quick rundown of how to use Postaga for your first campaigns. I generally recommend doing things like a resources campaign to promote your blog post, or a reviews or podcast outreach campaign to promote your business. If you have any questions in general, we're very available. We have this little chat widget on the bottom right part of the screen, and you'll either get me or my co-founder Sam to help you out. And that's basically it. That's the quick and dirty rundown of Postaga. Happy to answer any questions that you might have.
All right, Sumolings, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and send those now to the Q&A box. I'm going to ask a couple questions that are pretty common amongst Sumolings. The first one is, what are you most excited about on the roadmap? I'm sure you've gotten lots of roadmap questions. You don't have to reveal everything that's coming up, but I would love to hear what you're excited about.
Yeah, so we're always adding new campaigns, which I'm most excited about. I use Postaga all the time for ourselves as well. We're a growing business and we're trying to promote our content and our business as well. And so one thing we added recently, in the last week, we added that versus campaign. The week before that, like I think 2 days or 3 days before we launched with AppSumo, we just launched the podcast outreach campaign, and that's been really exciting. That's been going really well for us. We have a few new campaigns on the horizon, including help a reporter out outreach. So that's a popular tool for connecting with journalists and getting backlinks and press coverage. And so we're building an integration with them. We're also building some integrations with other tools like Ahrefs and things like that, which we're excited about as well. Probably the most requested feature that we've had in the last couple of weeks from AppSumo that we're coming out soon with is a full CSV merge. So letting you upload a CSV with all your contact details, as well as the email addresses, and building a campaign around that. That's one that users are most excited about, I'd say.
Excellent. Thank you. I guess the other question that's most popular is just about integrations. If you could just speak on that at large, I guess.
Yeah, so we are very open to different integrations. Sam is my more technical co-founder, but generally what our plan is for integrations is seeing what the biggest interest is for integrations and then developing according to that. We've gotten a lot of suggestions for integrations. We're working on building an open API so we can ideally do things like integrations with Zapier and give you all the integrations you want. But as far as native integrations, we're also seeing what our users are looking for. So if there are integrations that you're interested in, please let us know and we'll work to get that on the roadmap.
As soon as I asked that question to you, it popped up in the Q&A box. So I'm psychic and glad that I asked. Nice. And we don't have any more questions here in the Q&A box. Is there anything that Sumolings have been asking a lot of and you would like to let them know here in case they are looking for that answer?
Probably. I'm drawing a blank at this very second. What questions have been getting a lot lately?
We did just get a question of any referral programs available.
Yes, so we do have an affiliate program. You can get in on that at postaga.com/affiliates. Yeah, it's pretty easy to sign up there.
Sometimes when it comes to freebies, we get questions about limits and the deal setup. If you want to tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So with the AppSumo deal, we do have so with the AppSumo deal, we in this free tier, you get 6 campaigns a month. Also with we have this native integration with hunter.io that helps us find contacts. And so as far as contacts and finding different people, you're only limited by your Hunter account. Hunter does have a free tier, which will get you 50 contacts a month. You can also upgrade that if you want, and you can get as many contacts as in your Hunter account. So the free tier is pretty comprehensive in what you can do. You can, and they're also with that. You also include finding, like doing searches to find outreach opportunities, sending outreach emails, and things like that. Or something I was going to mention about that as well, and I have forgotten. I'm really doing awesome right now. Oh, one popular thing that people have asked about. So as a default with Postaga, as far as sending outreach emails, we have a few different ways for you to send emails from your domain that I did not mention before. You can either set up a custom domain, which involves a little bit of work to set up your own DNS records, or we have a way for you to do an SMTP setup, so you can send outreach emails through your email provider of choice. So if you can hook up your Gmail or you hook up your Exchange or Outlook emails to send emails out that way. That's another popular question.
That does sound like an extremely popular question. Custom domain is always coming up in these. Mario wants to know, how does the snippet function work?
Magic. So basically, the snippet function reads the articles that you are reaching out about, and then finds, due to, again, AI magic, finds the most relevant portions of text. So in general, like things like the highlights, basically trying to find the highlights from that article. And then from that, the snippet section will give you those. And so if you want to like refer to that part of an article without having to go to that article itself and scour through it and try to find something to talk about, the snippet section is a good way to do that and help you quickly find a point of common ground to be like, oh, hey, I really like this thing that you said in your article. I really appreciated that insight that you offered. And now you have shown, even if you haven't, that you've read the article or at least are familiar with them.
Awesome. I love that. And any chance to find that lead compared to Hunter?
That's been another popular question, in part because they've done a deal with AppSumo. So right now, unfortunately not, because Find That Lead does not have an open API. If they do, we're definitely open to that in the future. That's another popular question we've gotten. If someone has a hookup there and connect us, maybe it's something that we could look into.
I might know some people. I'll let you know.
Okay, cool.
Wonderful. That is all we have for today. So thank you so much, Andy, for walking us through everything. Sumolings, if you have not already, you can go to appsumo.com/Postaga to redeem the codes for your freebie. And of course, we'd love to know how this is working out for you. So go ahead and leave those reviews on the deal page. And of course, if you have any more questions, you can go ahead and leave those questions also on the deal page. Thank you so much, Andy. Thank you, Sam, also. And I hope you guys have a good one.
Awesome. Thanks, Lindsay.
Have a good one. Bye.